Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 274. If you're writing a book or thinking about it or trying to finish your book or trying to let people know about your book, you're in the right place. Good morning and happy Friday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Ink, I-N-K, like the stuff you write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they can turn someone who doesn't see themselves as an author into a published one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. "The brain is like a muscle. When it is in use, we feel very good. Understanding is joyous." Carl Sagan. So once again, happy Friday. It is FAQs Friday, where I answer your frequently asked questions, whether about the hats I wear as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author, about writing habits, writing fundamentals, productivity, anything to do with books and writing, whatever's on your mind. And if I can't answer the question, most likely I will go out and start searching for an expert to bring on the show as a guest who can. So ask away. Now, today's question comes through my website, christine-ink.com, the contact page, and it is, how do you switch your brain between projects? And then the person puts in parentheses, one type per day, do a timeout between, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's a neat question. Well, this is where the better you know your own brain and how it works best, the better results you'll get. And I don't just mean physically your brain, like the thing that's in your head, taking up the space, making us, operate and walk around and do the things. I specifically mean your creative mind, your writer's brain, whatever you want to call the thing inside your brain that is the ringleader in this whole writing thing, this whole coming up with ideas and then finding the right words to express them, being creative, having crazy things happen in our imagination, your writer's mind. Now, this part of your brain, it has needs. Now, your whole brain has needs, but specifically your creative brain has needs. It needs the time, space, and energy, which means sleep, something I'm a huge fan of, especially after reading Dr. Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep. Very, very important, possibly the most important thing we can do for our brain. But I digress. We need all of those things to focus on our writing. So this question of switching my brain between projects is an important one, especially when you think of all the things your brain has to switch between in an average day. All the things we go back and forth between, like the minutia and then reacting to other people and then, creating things and then figuring out problems and just all the things we have to deal with. And even if we're only talking about writing projects, there are different kinds requiring different types of mental energy. So there's the online, email, social media kind of reactive aspect where our brain is reacting to things rather than creating them. But we need these as authors to promote ourselves and conduct the business of being a writer. So that's one piece. But those kind of things don't mix well with the process of creating, of writing. Even editing feels different. And even when you have multiple works in progress, it's all creating. But each project has its own energy. For instance, your memoir versus your wildly imaginative science fiction thriller. Those are two different beasts. So the overall advice there is be sure and give yourself a little time between tasks to draw a line of demarcation. And for something, a pairing like that, you might need a lot of time in between. You might need to just go out for a walk or watch a movie, or you might need like a whole night in between. So back to the question, how and how often do I switch my brain between projects? On average, actually, it's several times a day. Remember, I've been doing this professionally for a while, though, but I do it quite a bit. And I don't have any huge secrets about how to switch gears other than, give yourself that line of demarcation. Don't try to just go from one thing to the other. Absolutely. But I can give you my overall brain optimization tips, kind of like the hard drive of a computer, how to keep your brain from overheating and slowing down and clogging up with cookies and all those things. So, again, sleep, that's my number one tip. So when people are asking me, how do you produce so much content? How are you so creative? How do you write all these books for people and you're ghostwriter for celebrities and all the things I get asked all the time? Really, just number one, without even a close second, is sleep. And people don't believe that I actually get plenty of sleep. Inversion is another one of my secret tips here, and many of you follow me on social media know that I do circus aerials and aerial yoga and things like that, but it's been proven that hanging upside down is awesome for your creative brain. It's amazing. So if you can find a way to get upside down, I would highly recommend it. And there are aerial yoga classes popping up all over the country now. So I think everybody can pretty much do that. And then the other usual things, good food and vitamins and reading a lot, reading, thinking a lot, whatever it takes. And yes, I do spend probably an inordinate amount of time focusing on my brain. To share something personal, my father actually died of a brain disease back in 2004. I've seen a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's, both in my family, but also back when I was a nurse. I was a nursing home nurse. And our brains are very fragile, but also very powerful and amazing and wonderful things. So, I mean, it's kind of such a roundabout answer to your question about how do you switch your brain. And the short answer is, how do I switch my brain? I keep my brain as healthy and just kind of optimized as I possibly can. I take brain health very seriously because as writers, we rely on our brains. So I highly recommend this. So how do you switch your brain between projects? Well, keep your brain in good health, use it as often as possible, and you can switch it all the times you need to throughout the day, and it will perform just fine. So we did the analogy of a computer, so maybe think of a car. Think of a car that is really well taken care of, and it's a well-oiled machine. A car is going to be able to switch gears and do all kinds of crazy things, especially like race cars and all that, because it's a great car and it's really taken care of. So the more you do it, the more you operate your brain at those optimal levels, the better you take care of it, and the more you push it, for me, the better it performs. Here's to your brain health. And if you have a question for a frequently asked question Friday future episode, that's a lot of F's, you can submit it through Ink Authors, my Ink Authors group on Facebook, or through my website like this person did, so Christine-ink.com. So feel free to reach out with your question and then listen to future FAQs Fridays episodes and you'll hear me answer it. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And like I said, be sure and drop by Ink Authors, I-N-K, Authors on Facebook, and let me know how I can support you in finishing your book this year. Until tomorrow, happy writing.